Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th and final round.
Right hand, Golovkin steps in and down he goes again. Unbelievable. Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake. A sensational left hook by De La Hoya.
It's facts. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best. I'm going to show you how great I am.
From Southern California, this is the Last Round Podcast.
Welcome to the Last Round Podcast, and this week we have current IBF featherweight and former WBO super-bantamweight world champion, Angelo Leo. Thanks for joining me, Angelo.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
So I know that you're kind of pressed for time, so let's start at the beginning. How did you get into boxing?
Well, I started boxing due to my dad. He introduced me to the sport at a very early age. I think I was around 7 years old, and he took me to the boxing gym. And at first, he had put me in soccer and karate, but those weren't working out in my favor. So he told me to try boxing, and I took a liking to it. And ever since then, the rest is history.
Did it run in the family? Did your dad or any of your uncles, anyone like that, box?
No, my dad he never competed, but he used to just hit the bags, go to the gym and hit the bags and stuff like that. And then my uncles and all that were really into boxing. They all love boxing, so it's kind of like just an interest in my family. But no one really boxed like that.
How was getting punched in the face for the first time?
I don't really remember it, to be honest. It was I was a kid, so everything you couldn't really feel it too much. I mean, it hurt. Don't get me wrong. A good no shot hurts even to this day. But I like to punch people just as much. So that's the reason why I kept going. I stuck with it.
So you grew up in New Mexico, a bit of a fight state. Johnny Tapia, Danny Romero, Holly Holm.
Yeah. I grew up in New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico is my hometown. I lived there for a majority of my life. But now we're relocated here in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I got all my family out there in Albuquerque still.
Who were the fighters that you looked up to or enjoyed watching when you were growing up?
First one comes to mind is probably Oscar De La Hoya. I liked Fernando Vargas. I liked Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Manuel Márquez. Who else? Manny Pacquiao, of course, Floyd Mayweather. And then I really like the old school fighters as well from the 80s and the 90s.
Anything that you see in your style that you think you've taken from them just as a fan and as a kid growing up?
Oh, for sure. I feel like my whole style is based off like a little bit of this and a little bit of that from every fighter. I've been told some people have told me I fight like Durant. Some people have told me I fight like Pacquiao. Some people have told me I fight I got good body shots like Barrera. So I get a little bit of everything from everyone.
So how was the amateur career, and when did you decide, you know what, I think I'm good enough that this can become a full-time job?
Early in my career, when I first started boxing, I right away knew that I wanted to be a champion, and I was always inspired by the champions, and I always seen it in the magazines. I seen that on the TV, all the fighters, and I told myself, oh, why can't I be like that? I could do that as well. So it was always a dream of mine to be a champion, to be something in the sport.
So kind of fast forwarding to your pro debut, November 17th, 2012 against Jesus Xavier Peredu. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah. Yep.
At the Crown Plaza Hotel, Albuquerque. You won by majority decision. What can you remember about that day?
That day, I was a little bit nervous. It was my pro debut. Didn't know what to expect. The nerves, the butterflies were definitely there. But it was a tough fight. I remember I didn't get no easy pickings. He was a very tough competitor, but I got the job done, and that was my main thing. My main concern was to get that W, and I got the W, and it felt good. It felt good, and I was ready for the next one.
When you turned pro, was it something that you decided, your coach decided?
I'd have to say my team. Yeah, it was my team. My trainers basically said when he turns 18, he's gonna go pro, and that's how I went. It was really no ifs, ands, or buts. I just they just threw me to the wolves right away. Once I turned 18, they're like, you're gonna be a pro now.
And I know early on in a lot of fighters' career, did you have to sell tickets to get a spot on the show?
Yeah, I did. I had to sell tickets for sure, but it wasn't like a guarantee that I had to get have a certain amount to sell. But I've been put in that position, but out there in California, when I used to live out there in Cali, the promoters would want us to sell a certain amount of tickets, but that's when we decided to move back to New Mexico because we didn't even have family out there in LA and Cali like that. So we decided to make my pro debut and have most of my fights out there in Albuquerque and New Mexico in that region.
For fans who don't know, normally, like, how many tickets do you have to sell to be able to book your slot on a show?
Typically, from what I remember, it was like 25 tickets. You gotta sell like 25 tickets, something like that.
That's pretty achievable.
Yeah, that's pretty achievable. For the most part, it's pretty achievable. Yeah.
So you moved to Las Vegas in 2017, and that was purely for boxing?
Yeah, purely for boxing. I mean, boxing and living, because we live out here now. My dad lives out here. He loves it. I love it. And, but yeah, the main reason was because of boxing.
And you're trained by your dad?
Yeah. I'm trained by my dad. I train by my dad, and then I also have my strength and conditioning coach, my other trainer, Luis Chavez. It's all it's a pretty solid team we got.
So how did you celebrate after that pro debut victory?
How did I celebrate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you're talking 12 years ago, 13 years ago now. I think I just went to go grab something to eat. It's like a good dinner. And that was about it. Just got a good dinner, and I was just happy just to be 1-0 at the time.
So who are some of the big names that you've sparred with, obviously, since moving, around from New Mexico, California, Las Vegas?
Oh, man. I sparred a lot of big names, to be honest. I sparred Nonito Donaire, Leo Santa Cruz, Gervonta Davis. Who else? Shakur Stevenson. There's a lot. Jerwin Ancajas. Who else? Abdullah Mason.
Oh, he just won the world title.
Yeah, just won the world title. Let me see who else. Yeah, so I have a lot. Sparred a lot. Marlon Tapales, former world champion as well.
What did you learn from someone like Nonito Donaire? He's so experienced.
Oh, I learned a lot from Nonito. I give a lot of credit and my hats off to Nonito because he's taught me a lot. He took me under his wing there for a bit and showed me. I done his strength and conditioning regimen. I seen the way he trains, and I've done a lot of sparring with him, done a lot of rounds with him, and no, he's a champion for a reason. He's a true champion, and the way he works, his mentality, his mindset. He's a solid guy.
How about Gervonta Davis? How was that?
It was good. I think he had just got done fighting. I forgot when he fought out there in London, way back 2017.
That's when he fought.
That was after he fought Pedraza.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he fought him, and then he came to the gym over there at Mayweather Boxing Club, and I sparred him. Good 5 rounds, and no, he was good. He was good. He was strong, powerful, explosive. I held my own in there, and we did a good 5 rounds. And I think that's what really caught the attention of Floyd. How I was able to make adjustments in there, and that's how I got signed. That's one of the reasons why I got signed to the Mayweather Promotions at the time.
And how about lastly, Shakur? I'm sure he was kind of completely different to Gervonta in style.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Shakur is, he was a great sparring as well. I think I sparred him 2 years ago, and you could see why they say in boxing that there's levels to this game, and with those guys, you got to be on your A game.
Fast forward into your first world title fight, so August the 1st, 2020, against Tramaine Williams, who was 19-0 at the time. Mm-hmm. You got a unanimous decision win to win the WBO super bantamweight. So what can you remember from that night? I'm sure you had nerves going into that. You obviously your first crack at the world title.
Yeah. Oh, I was definitely nervous, but the nerves ain't necessarily a bad thing. I was just prepared. I was ready to win a world title. And that was my main goal, was to walk out of that ring with the world title, with the strap around my waist. And I wasn't going to do anything to stop me, and nothing was going to stop me that night. So I was on fire that night. That was my main dream. That was a dream come true, was that winning that world title, winning my first world title. But it's definitely a great memory to have, though.
And what did you know about Williams going into the fight? He's a bit of a tricky customer.
Not much, to be honest. I was supposed to be fighting Stephen Fulton for that night, but he got COVID, and then Tramaine Williams substituted. He was already on the card to begin with, so he was already ready to go, and he was ranked number 6 by the WBO, and I was ranked number 2. And they put us in. I guess he was a southpaw. Some were saying that a lot of people were saying that he was like the next Pernell Whitaker and that this and that. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. That they told me a week in advance. I think they told me that Monday that I was going to be fighting Tramaine. And it didn't matter at all. Even though he was southpaw, we didn't train for a southpaw. We didn't train for a slick fighter like that. I was just ready to win a world title. I told myself and I told my dad, yeah, let's take the fight. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Go ahead.
Is that something that, good variation of sparring can prepare you for? So, if you, over your career, you spar tall people, small people, powerful, slick, southpaws, then obviously, like, when something like that happens, like a week before the fight, the opponent changes, you're kind of already prepared.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't get that preparation for that fight. But nonetheless, I had a lot of experience. I had 19-0, so I had a lot of experience, and I've been undefeated with all southpaw fighters. So, it was going to change that night.
You like fighting southpaws then?
Yeah, I could say. I mean, I'm undefeated with them, so that'll tell you something.
So your next fight was actually against Stephen Fulton. So January 23rd, 2021, Stephen Fulton, who was undefeated, 18-0. Yep. You lost this one by unanimous decision, 12. How was taking your first professional defeat?
It was a little tough, It was pretty tough. It'd be my first loss, but I came to terms with it already. I came to terms. I recognized my mistakes. I recognized what went wrong with everything, and I'm a completely different fighter from then. Different mindset, all that. So, but initially, I was pretty hurt. It was pretty hurt, but it drove me. It drove me to be the fighter I am today, and it still drives me.
Was there anything in particular that you did to come over the obstacles of losing for the first time? Anything mental, like work with a coach, like a mental coach or anything?
No, nothing like that. It was pretty simple on what happened. But I didn't. And then I got to my next fight, and then I won and gave me the confidence back and all that. So it was nothing crazy like that.
And then going on to one of your biggest fights, August 10th, 2024, a great win against Luis Alberto Lopez, 10th round KO in Albuquerque. And this time you won the IBF featherweight title to become two-time world champion. How was that night? Amazing, I assume.
Yeah, it was one of the best nights of my life, to be honest. Um, just so much emotion running through that night, and all the things I had been through in boxing, in my personal life, and all that. And that night really just was the cherry on top for everything.
How did you prepare for somebody like Luis Alberto Lopez? Because he's super unorthodox. He throws punches from crazy angles.
Yeah. So we got a lot of different sparring partners in camp. We started camp like around 3 months in advance, and I did a lot of different things than I did in my previous camps. But a fighter like Venado, you can't really train for him like other fighters, because he, like you said, he's awkward. He throws a lot of looping punches and stuff like that. So we did our best of our abilities, but and then we also strengthened my strengths, which was my left hook and stuff like that, and my counters and boxing and moving and all that. So he had to make some adjustments and prepare for me as well.
How was going into the fight knowing that you were a 5-1 underdog?
Oh, it was motivating. It was motivating. Just people were just overlooking me. It was kind of like a slap in the face. So I was just like, I wanted to prove everybody wrong, and show everybody who Angelo Leo is.
What do you think is the most important lesson fighting has taught you so far?
Say that again.
What do you think is the most important lesson fighting has taught you so far?
The most important lesson is just to be most important lesson. I have to say, just being like humble, being respectful. Just due to the fact that there's always somebody willing to take your spot if you don't work hard, if you don't train correctly, train properly. There's always going to be someone there that's hungry and wanting to take your spot. So you got to respect that, and to be humble too, because it's not fun getting hit in the face, and somebody that doesn't know humility and is arrogant like that, they just they don't understand that, until they get punched in the face.
Do you visualize your fights beforehand?
I do a lot of visualization. I study my opponents. I know some fighters say they don't study or they don't do anything like that. I think it's important. I think when you do that, you prepare your mind, you prepare your body for what's to come.
And then moving on to May the 24th of this year against Tomoki Kameda, a majority decision win over in Japan. This was the first defense of your IBF featherweight title. How was Japan?
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was good to me. I loved it out there. It was an amazing experience. Amazing experience. A different experience for me, different experience for my team, my coaches, my dad. It was all new to us, but nonetheless, it was a memory that we'll have for the rest of our lives.
And how different were the Japanese fans to the fans over in the US and Mexico and other places you fought?
They're pretty lively. They're pretty lively as well, but they're a little bit more. I say respectful. Like they're very respectful. They clap and stuff like that. You're not gonna hear a lot of boos or anything like that over there.
And did this fight go as you thought? Like we said, like you kind of like visualize fights. Did this go like how you imagined?
Yeah, it did. We prepared very good for Kameda, and he brought the things that we expected from him.
Because unlike Tramaine Williams, Kameda's had a whole host of fights, so I'm pretty sure there was quite a lot of like video that you and your dad could look at and kind of prepare for.
Oh yeah, for sure. We broke down his strengths and weaknesses. We had a whole camp for that.
So which fight are you most proud of and why so far in your career?
The one I'm most proud of is probably the Venado fight. I think just due to uh, the whole backstory behind that fight and how I just how everybody was overlooking me. It was just a real nice comeback story, and so I think and then it was a good performance as well. You know, knockout of the year, and stuff like that. And it was an exciting fight up until the knockout. So I think it's a fight everybody will remember.
Like you said, it was a comeback story. Was there much that you changed in the comeback?
Say that again.
Like you said, it was like a comeback story for yourself. Was there much that you changed from, I don't know, Angelo Leo 1 to the new improved Angelo Leo?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think people always they always like know me as a pressure fighter, a fighter that comes forward and like an inside fighter. But in that fight, I showed some different wrinkles in my game. You know, I boxed a little bit, I did a little bit more countering, stuff like that, and I was a lot stronger than I was back in my other fights. So I think that's what caught everyone by surprise was the strength, was the power, was the counter punching abilities.
What do you think separates great fighters from your average fighter?
I say great fighters, they work a little harder than other fighters, and they know how to adjust.
And how do you think boxing has changed you outside of the ring?
Outside the ring, I'd say just being quick on my feet. Just being quick on my feet with just in the outside world. Being a quick thinker. What else? And um, and just treating everyone equal.
So your next fight is going to be, I know we kind of talked before we kind of pressed record and the date's been changed, so hopefully in March. Your next opponent is going to be Lerat Diamini, 21-3 with 13 KOs, and it's hopefully going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, your hometown. Just give us a preview of what you know about Diamini going into the fight.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I didn't know he did fight Tomoki Kameda. He's from South Africa, and I know he's hungry to win a world title, and this is his opportunity to go for it. So, but other than that, I don't know too much about him.
What's it going to be like fighting in front of your hometown again?
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fireworks. Every time I fight out there in my hometown, I always put on a show. So I'm just excited to be back out there and show my fans what I've improved on and to give them a good show.
You've already been a two-time, two-weight world champion. Mm-hmm. What are you still chasing in your career?
I'm chasing greatness. So if I could go for another title, if I could go for 2-3 more titles, as many titles as I can, I'll do it. And probably move up in weight sometime in my career. But other than that, I'm just chasing greatness and whatever that entails.
Looking at the titles in your weight right now, you've got Stephen Fulton with the WBC, mm-hmm. Rafael Espinoza with the WBO, and then Nick Ball with the WBA. In that order, who would you like?
Let me see. In that order, I would say probably Espinoza, Fulton, and Ball.
You'd like to get the rematch against Fulton?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I think it makes for a good show, a good fight. We got some history already, and yeah, that'd be a good fight.
Who would be your dream opponent, past or present?
Dream opponent, past or present? Present would be probably Naoya Inoue.
Mm. How about present? Someone that's retired that you would have loved to have fought. Like, I'm sure probably one of the people you spoke to before, like Duran, Barrera, Marquez.
Who I would like to fight? Probably Duran.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorite fighters. Yeah.
What would you like to do when you retire from boxing?
I would like to just give back to boxing. Give back to boxing in a way where I could inspire the youth, teach them something. Give back as in my time, any which way I could help, because this sport did so much for me and it's done so much for my career, my family, that it's only right that I give back. Other than that, though, I do want to do like a real estate, invest my money correctly and stuff like that.
What advice would you give to a young fighter that's listening to this and they're starting out in their boxing career?
I say just train hard, train hard, listen to your coaches, do a lot of film study, and yeah, just, do a lot of film study. That's what I did. I did a lot of film study and I watched a lot of different fighters, and that's what gave me a lot of different ideas and kept me versatile in my style.
Who is Angelo Leo away from the sport? Like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do in your downtime?
On my downtime, I'm a pretty chill guy. I just like to chill with my friends. I used to like to draw a lot. I haven't picked up a sketchbook or a pencil in a while, but I used to like to draw a lot, paint, cook, and just hang out with friends mainly. I like to have some friends over. We cook, we grill, barbecue, go places, stuff like that, travel.
I saw in some of my research before I was doing some prep that you were actually influenced by your cousin, who's a big graffiti artist in New Mexico.
Yeah, he is. That's my cousin Adam. He was a big graffiti artist, and anyone that's in that scene and out there in Albuquerque know who he is. But yeah, he was a big influence in me too. Rest in peace.
What was his style? Like murals or what type of graffiti?
Yeah, he would do murals. He had a real like wild style, they call it, New York graffiti style. But yeah, that was his thing, was graffiti, tattoos, and he was really good.
All right, Angelo, I appreciate you giving me some time today. I know you said you were busy, so I didn't want to keep you too long because I'm sure you've got a busy schedule, and obviously you've got the fight coming up in March. So if you want to give a shout out to your sponsors or anything like that, now's the time to do it. Yeah, no, I just want to give a big shout out to all my supporters, all my fans, everyone that's been tuning into my career. And no, thank you for having me as well, Michael. I appreciate it, and tune into my next fight. If you want to give out your social media handles or anything, your Twitter, your IG. Yeah, you could follow me on Instagram, Angelo X Leo. I'm also active on TikTok as well, Angelo X Leo 777. And then what else? On Twitter, I think it's the same as my IG, Angelo X Leo. And we are at The Last Round 12 on Instagram and Twitter. And catch us next time. This is The Last Round.
Thanks for supporting and listening to the show. Follow us at The Last Round 12 on social media. Rate, review, and subscribe. This is The Last Round Podcast.